Welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam. It's been a while. I think the last episode we did was The Lion King was the last movie we did. Since then, I haven't really gotten a chance to go to the movies. So last night, scrolling through the AMC app, looking to see what I can go see. And I see this movie. It's called... What I was doing is, it's like, do I do Hobbs and Shaw? But like at this point, it's like, it's so far out, who cares? Because either you've seen the movie or you haven't at this point, and there's nothing that anyone can do to sway you one way or the other. There's, what else was there that was playing? It's like a big blockbuster. There's, like, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and I don't really like horror to begin with. And then I was going down. I go down a little bit lower to the it's called AMC Artisan. It's what they call their indie showcase, for lack of a better word. And I get down to there, and there's this movie called Luce, which I did not know how to pronounce until I got to the movie today, and they said the character's name in the movie. I thought it was Lucy, but it's Luce. Luce, which is the title of the episode as well. Now, I went into... and what made me pick this movie was I looked at the... what's it called? I looked at the description, and the picture had a kid in a school setting. It had 93 on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I really like movies like high school dramas that aren't like partying movies or like, things like that, like actual high school drama things. I loved 8th grade last year. So that had me hooked a little bit. And then so I picked this one. I went to a reasonably early showing. Holy shit. I think that's the best way to put it. It's not even that I went into this movie with, like, no expectations or minimal expectations, but whatever I expected going into it at 1 a.m. yesterday when I picked my my ticket, it was none of what I expected. I expected, like, a high school, like... So, here's the thing, now. The episode is called Beware of Spoilers, and for this, and I guess for Knives Out, too, there's a mystery in the plot, and... It's one thing for, like, Endgame, where it's like, if we're going to discuss Endgame, and we're going to discuss how well certain aspects of the movie work, like how well the death of Tony Stark resonates, or any of that, it's kind of hard to do without spoiling. And the spoiler doesn't make or break the movie. In this case, and I'm presuming in the case of Knives Out, the same thing, the spoiler is going to make or break the movie. Because if you go into it knowing, you're going to have a very different experience from what I just had going into the movie not knowing. And then once you see the movie all the way through, when you think back on it, you kind of retrospectively are able to say, oh, that makes a lot of sense now, and a lot of things kind of click into place. And the movie does a very good job of playing close to the vest with what the mystery is. Basically, here's the premise, okay? I'm going to give you the premise of the movie, and that's all I'm going to give you on this. In terms of, like, spoilers for what happens. You have a kid, okay? He was adopted when he was 10 from a war zone in Africa, okay? His parents put him through therapy, put him through this, that, and the other thing. They want to make him as, ready as possible, and he's getting pushed, he's valedictorian of his class, and, he's this great person. And then, because of that, his identity is kind of fractured, because there's a bunch of other kids in his school who, I'm trying to be very careful with word choice here, who have made bad decisions, and how he identifies with those kids. He identifies with the need to, be the perfect person, and he has this identity crisis of what would happen if I wasn't the perfect person. So I'm trying, again, this is very hard to do without spoiling the entire movie. But this movie is amazing. It does such a good job of giving you just enough information to give you what you want. Like, basically every school of thought you can have going through this movie, it is possible. They go out of their way to make it so that way, you can think every which way about the plot, and what the resolution is going to ultimately be, and even the ending kind of underscores this, where you like we have some semblance of closure to the main question of the story, and we understand why everything happened and what happened. But at the end of the day, there's still this lingering question of who Luce is, and what he believes in. And the movie ends on a note where you don't know how that is. I did notice in the credits that this is based on a stage play. I would like to see that stage play, see how this works. That'd be very interesting to watch. But this movie is just amazing. Octavia Spencer has a great performance. The girl who plays, her last name's Kim. I forgot what her first name is. She has a great performance talking to Luce's mom. And she has such a great, and the way that scene is shot is so beautifully done. It's about halfway through the movie. Luce's mom does a great job. The dad does a great job. I don't remember any of the only actor who I recognized in the movie. I recognized the guy who played his dad. I don't know who the actor's name is, but I recognized him. I probably should have stayed through the credits and took a note, but I left my notebook in the car. Go see this movie. If you can see any movie this week, this is definitely the movie to see if it's playing near you. I don't know how widespread this movie is. My cinema has 17 screens, so this is playing on one of them. If you can see this movie, 100% go see it. I will do a full spoiler review of it, because I do want to discuss some of what happened in this movie. But I don't want to do that here. I don't want to spoil the movie in this capacity for people who haven't seen it or are on the fence, and have the option to see it. But 100% go see this movie, and then I'm going to put up another episode later today which is just going to talk about the spoilers from the movie and the resolution and everything and what happens. But until then, have a great rest of your week. And I'm going to reiterate this one more time. If you can see the movie Luce, 100% go see it. See if it's showing at a screening near you. This movie is so good. It has made and here's the problem: it's up there with Fast Color. This is my number 1 and my number 2 favorite movies of the year so far. Fast Color and Luce. I will say hands down, this is my favorite movie of the year that doesn't involve someone with superpowers, because Fast Color does. But this is hands down this puts a lot of pressure on Knives Out to be really good. Just because of it's I don't want to call it it kind of is a psychological thriller. It reminded me a lot of Prisoners when I was watching it, where we don't know anything about what's happening, and and slowly things are revealed, but it doesn't make any more sense. And it kind of like there are certain ways you could think about it where it does make sense, but it doesn't entirely. It's so good. It is so good. So 100%, if you can see this movie, go see it. And we'll be back later today with an episode where we dissect the spoilers. Do not listen to that episode if you do not want the movie spoiled before seeing it. But this I'll tag as a spoiler-free, and I'll tag the other one as a spoiler review, same as I did for Endgame when that came out. So with that, we'll be back probably next week with another movie. I don't know what my schedule's going to look like yet to see what we're going to see. Later this week, I may go Thursday to the movies, so I got to see what's playing now. My schedule doesn't go that far in advance. So until then, have a great rest of your week.